Well, hi guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry. And today I'm going to show you how I make the pizza dough from start to finish and how I make pizza on the big green egg using homemade pizza sauce. So I made Mrs. Wage's pizza sauce, and now I'm going to make the pizza. So it's a couple day process. So I'm going to get the dough started tonight and I'll show you how this goes. Come on in and let's make pizza dough. Okay, so um, I'm going to leave the recipe for the dough in the description. And super easy. I'll just do a snapshot of it and you'll get the full, or actually at the end of the video, you'll have it there. So it calls for 5 cups of flour. So I'm just going to put the flour in right now. I've got my yeast blooming in 2 cups of warm water. And that's with a little bit of sugar. That's 3. I don't want to lose count. And this is a 4 jars measuring cup. I really like them. This is also 00 flour. So you can use, bread flour, or you can use all-purpose flour. You're going to get a better result if you use pizza flour, 00. So 4, and I'm going to leave the last one to add if needed. And then I always put my salt in the actual flour just so I don't kill my yeast. So it calls for 1.5 teaspoons. You're going to see these are heaping. I like a little bit, that's a lot of flour, and I like a little more salt. You can adjust it however you like. I also sometimes like honey in that pizza crust. So let's get some olive oil. And that we need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And again, I'm going to mix that salt into the flour a little bit. Get your olive oil. And the oil will help the crust get that really beautiful brown. So again, I'm generous on the olive oil. If you cook like that, leave me a comment in the comment section, because I know. So in here is 2 cups of warm water. This is like bath water, warm, and your yeast, which was a tablespoon, I believe, a teaspoon and a half of yeast, and about a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, just to get give the yeast something to feed on. So this dough is going to rise tonight, and then I'm going to do an overnight ferment. So you're going to have a nice fermented dough. Shut this old mixer down and turn it on. Let me get this all mixed, and then I'll come back when we're at the stage where I can tell you what that dough should feel and look like and how elastic it is. Okay, so I've got this where we have a soft mixture here. Get this off my hand. I did scrape down the sides here, but you can see this is not near ready. I'm going to add some more flour in and let it rehydrate. Oh, it's going to be good. Pizza on the big green egg is amazing. It gets that smoky flavor that you just can't get, wood-fired flavor that you can't get in your oven, but yeah, anyway. So now we're going to get to where we have to really get this dough. It's got to become smooth and elastic and pick up everything off the bottom, and it'll take it a while because it depends on the humidity, how much flour or how much moisture that flour will take up and how fast. So when I have a smooth ball of dough that I'm happy with and I'm ready, it's got picking up everything off the sides and the bottom, and we've kneaded it for 7 minutes. I'll come back. We're going to let this get a good rise on it, and then we'll start that overnight fermentation. It's already picking up everything. It's pretty cool. So after the dough actually gets all worked up onto here, I go ahead and pull it down a couple of times because this old mixer, it'll get stuck on this hook and just kind of go round and round. It's not really getting a really good knead where we're already, we still have stuff sticking on our hands, but once this is done, there won't be any. So I jab that back there, go ahead and let it knead some more. And if I have to, I'll add a little bit more flour. It looks like it's going to need more flour. So we've had rain today, which causes, humidity in the house, outside. So I always feel like bread, dough recipes, yeast recipes, not really quick breads or anything like that, but yeast recipes, I think the dough, the flour can vary of how much you need. So we'll just keep working on it, and we'll do that same thing 2 more times until it gives me that really nice elastic dough that doesn't do that. So now I've got that really nice elastic dough going. Didn't stick to my hand, and we're going for the last probably 3 minutes of kneading process. It's gathering up everything. I'm going to oil this bowl and then cover it and let it proof in the proofing oven. And this old girl, I should get the Bosch out, but it's hard to get her in and out of the cabinet. And this one still works like a champ, even though it's struggling. Okay, so this is how it's got everything. I don't know if you can see that, but everything is off the bottom. Nice and clean. This is what I do here. While it's kneading, I'm just going to drizzle some olive oil in there. It's going to grab it. And then I turn it off and get this dough ball off of here. But I've already started, this has already got an oil on it. And the bowl has a little bit of oil now. And I don't have a bunch of excess, but get this off. And you can see nothing's on my hands. Now we've got that cohesive ball of dough that we wanted. Put that in the sink, but you can see this is a really nice, smooth ball of dough. This is enough for 4 pizzas before it's said and done. A little more. There we go. Swirl that around. And you want to make sure every bit of the surface is got some oil on it, only because if you don't, it's gonna dry out, and then you're not gonna have as good of results. So we're gonna put some saran over top of this. It goes in the proofing oven until it doubles in size, and then I'll bring you back and we'll put it in a container to go in the fridge for an overnight ferment. So first things first, we're gonna do a pepperoni pizza, and I'm gonna open my sauce. I also, I've got some tomato paste here to thicken it. That's how I would thicken it. I'm going to be using Thrive mushrooms because I'm out of fresh. So I'm going to refresh these. These are just beautiful Thrive Life mushrooms. And I've got a link down below if you're interested in purchasing Thrive any kind. All the vegetables, I have them at my disposal. I don't have to worry about going to the store and getting fresh. I've got them right here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of water. They'll refresh perfect. We'll put them on the pizza. So that's going to happen there. I've got my dough from last night. So this did a slow overnight ferment in the refrigerator. And recapping, I did let it rise once, then I put it in the refrigerator, and there it sat until tonight. So it's a good 24-hour fermentation there, slow fermentation. I got mozzarella, my pepperoni, and we're ready to start. So let's get this going. I think I'm going to do this. And so good seal on the jar. And this was a 4 jars lid, of course. So I'm going to pour some of this sauce in here. You can see, I mean, it's thick, but it's not thick enough. We need something thicker, right? So I'm going to pour that sauce out, and it has such a nice flavor. I'm super excited about this. I'm going to save the jar to put if there's any extra. Usually there is. So I'm going to save the jar, and we'll put the extra back in there with the new lid. Okay. So let's get some tomato paste in there, and we'll get that mixed around. You can get these almost anywhere. And it's nice because you're not wasting a whole jar or a can, I should say, of tomato paste. If you only use part of it, you're like, what do I do with the rest of it? So we're just going to. And if you feel like you need more pizza seasoning, you can add more. But you could literally stretch this out. I want to make this pretty thick. If you have Thrive on the shelf and you have their tomato powder, I used the last of mine not too long ago. If you had their tomato powder, you could use that to thicken it. Or if you make your own tomato powder, by all means, let's do it. Okay, so this, let's see, how many ounces is that? Does it tell me? That's a 4.5 ounce, and I'm using about half of it. I think that's going to be awesome. And then we don't have such a watery sauce going down onto the pizza. And I'm going to taste it. Give it a taste test right there. That's really, really good. I'm very happy with that. Okay, so now we're going to get our dough ready. I've got my flour over here. I need to get a little flour on the board. I used all 00 flour for the dough itself, but for this part of it, I'm just going to get flour out on the board. So let me get some water on these mushrooms and my dough out on the board, cut into, I'll show you when I bring it out, but I need to get my Okay, so I got my flour down, I got my sauce mixed, my mushrooms have already refreshed, and they're delicious. I've got my pepperoni and my tomatoes. It's going to be a good couple of pizzas. The big green egg is screaming hot, so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just going to put that right there and cut off a nice hunk of dough. Divide this up. This should make 4 pizzas, or we could do smaller ones. It's up to you. My stone is about 12 inches, so I don't want to make them too big. It's kind of nice to have them a little bit on the smaller side. So we'll make a couple small ones, and let's do. Make a nice dough ball here. If you don't want to use these all to, at once, you could totally, it's up to you, you could freeze these. You can freeze them as pizza skin or pizza dough, just a dough ball. And I'm not weighing them out, so. Okay, I think these are good. Let's get a nice dough ball here. And get this worked into a pizza skin. And you want to have plenty of flour down on the board. I have found if I don't have enough, then I have issues getting it off the peel. And even though I have awesome, I'll have to show you the pizza peel I have to get it off, to offload it onto the hot, screaming hot, almost 600 degree grill or stone. but then you just take it off with a metal peel. So I'll show you in just a second. Let me get these. Okay. And if I have to, and I have to let that dough rest, I will. But you're just going to work this dough until you get it to the size and stretch. Just keep stretching it. Sometimes I roll it out, and it will come back to life. Trust me, when it hits that hot stone. So up to you how you want to do it. I just know that I want plenty of flour on the bottom. And see, we got a double layer here. Okay, when I get this all stretched and it quits shrinking back on me, we'll load up that pizza. And I'll show you how we do it. It's gonna be good. Are you excited? Leave a comment if you love pizza. Okay, so this is the peel I use to get the pizza off loaded. So we're gonna onboard it onto that first. And I'm just gonna put down a little bit of flour down on that. I don't know if you can, I'm gonna back you up a little bit. And that way you can see the whole thing happening. And then grab your dough, and it's pretty relaxed now. It just wants to change shape on me, that's all. And stretch it however you want. If you want the shape to look like Florida, that's your call. Okay, I just want it about a 12-inch pizza because that's what is out there. So get your sauce, and it probably would help if I had a spoon and not a fork. And nice and thick. Look at that. Okay, now I can bring it in closer. Ooh, sorry. Here we go. And get your sauce on there. The sauce is what makes it taste so good. Oh, and the toppings. But see how nice and thick that is? That's awesome. Hey, we're gonna call that good. And I leave a little rim around the edge because you have to have some really good pizza bones around the edge because they're delicious. Okay, I've got my dough sauced, and now we need some cheese. And this cheese, this is like a rustic cut mozzarella. You can use a combination of cheeses, but we want to put enough on there that's cheesy, but not so much that it's going to just run over the edge of the pizza and make a mess. That's never good. And then we need some pepperoni. And these literally take minutes on that hot stone. I'm going to throw a hunk of wood on there to get some wood fired flavor, even though it probably doesn't need it. I'm going to throw a little bit of wood on there. So what's your favorite topping for pizza? Leave me a comment in the comment section because I know you're all going, oh, I like Canadian bacon. Oh, I want sausage and bell peppers and onions and, truffles and cheese. Oh my, I don't know. But yeah, let me know. What's your favorite topping? And if it's something I've never tried before, maybe we can try it on an upcoming pizza video using the pizza sauce that we made. So have you ever made your own pizza sauce too? That's another question. I know a lot of people I used to buy it. I'd buy a jar and I would waste most of it because the jar was too big and I couldn't get through enough of it. So I think that's enough pepperoni. Put some mushrooms on here. Ooh, oh my goodness. It's going to be so good. Normally I thin slice fresh mushrooms, but Thrive, it to the rescue. This is the benefit of having Thrive in your cabinet. You literally have everything you need at your fingertips without even, you're not going to waste anything. It's not sitting in your fridge to go bad and you end up composting it. It's right there anytime you need it. So that reminds me to order new mushrooms or more mushrooms on my monthly delivery. So if you aren't already a delivery customer, you need to be, because you can get all this stuff delivered right to your door. I'm going to put a couple of these sliced tomatoes on there, real thin sliced. I like them this way. And it's going to be so good. Okay, let's get another one over here. And I think that's good. And then just to make it a little bit decadent, right on top, let's do it. We don't want to miss out on some more cheese, right? Okay, let me take you out to the egg and we'll get this on the grill. Okay, we're here. We're out here at the green egg. It's preheated. It is, well, it was 550. That's perfect. So we're going to open this up. I put a chunk of wood on there, let it get ripping, and my stone is hot. You put this to the back, and literally, there you go. It's on the stone. Done deal. We'll be back ready to take it off. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. So that dough is going to bubble up. It's going to get that wood-fired flavor. It's undeniable how good this is. And Mrs. Wages is just going to make it better. All right. Home canned sauce. Fried mushrooms. Just a couple weeks. Homemade or homegrown tomatoes. Some arugula. Oh my gosh. Yes, please. Okay, let's get this pizza out. This one's done. So, woohoo! Hot. Get your pizza peel. And there's your pizza. I'm super excited about this. So the tomatoes still had a little bit of juice. That's okay. I'm gonna do the next one here. The fires are licking up the edge. We're gonna make sure we maintain about 575 is what I really want, but I can't wait. We're gonna cut into it and give you a taste test. Okay, so here's the pizza. It is ready to cut, but I am super excited about this because of the tomatoes, and look how the crust bubbles up. It's just a beaut. It's so pretty. The next one typically is even better. So we're going to cut this. I'll give you a taste test and let you know what I think about that sauce. Okay, guys, here it is. The pizza's cut. It's ready for taste test. I'm going to take a little piece right here and look at this. Okay, so you have that nice crust on the bottom. A little bit of that pepperoni, just kind of some of that fat gets underneath. Mm. 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 Highly recommend that dough recipe. It is so good. It's crisp on the outside. It's got a really good chew. It is delicious, and the sauce comes shining through. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fried mushrooms for the win. All right. Guys, if you haven't made pizza lately, I recommend it. Whether it's there or in the big green egg, it's divine. All right. I can't wait to see you next time. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your favorite pizza is. If you've ever made wood-fired pizza, do you have a pizza oven? What are you doing? I got to get the next one on. Cheers. So this pizza was so good, and I hope that this inspires you to do your own.